Hi everyone, happy Wicked Wednesday and welcome to Shivers. With the holiday season in full swing and Black Friday just passing us by, I wanted to talk about a horror genre that has been heavily inspired by this time of year. That is the zombie genre. Zombies are our 21st century monster. The zombie apocalypse from mass plague is the closest thing we can believe can happen, unlike werewolves or vampires, making it relatable and believable. Zombie stories in movies in 2020 and 2021 are scarier than they've ever been. With the threat of COVID-19, we've gotten a real glimpse into the world of the diseased and the invisible monster that's killing people through infection. Just look at the chaos from COVID. It's very probable to believe that if COVID happened on an amplified scale, zombies would become reality. Zombie films show that the wrong impulses that come out of people are far more terrifying than the Walking Dead themselves. Our antisocial tendencies tell us that we wouldn't mind living in the apocalypse, and outside of psychological horror movies, zombie films can be some of the best movies to help us learn about ourselves. It makes us question, what would I do to survive? Am I going to fight or run away? Imagining a society with no more rules and a collapse of government creates a sociological question of who would I become? It challenges the race and class system of America, since none of that would matter at the end of the world. This is the only genre that completely negates race in general. Zombies aren't racist, they're hungry, and in their minds, they're living in utopia. Just walk and eat. Zombies themselves make us ask if we would really want our loved ones to come back to life, analyzing the phrase of "be careful what you wish for." Each zombie movie has a specific speed for each zombie, and that is basically fast or slow. Fast zombies, like those seen in World War Z, sprinting through hallways and climbing walls, represents death by getting shot, or a quick death. Whereas slow zombies represent death by cancer or some slow spreading disease, which allows us to visualize our own death. We see the horde walking, we could prepare for the inevitable, or do our best to fight back. The relief with zombie movies or infection stories is that there's always hope for survival. The very first zombie movie ever created was a film called Night of the Living Dead in 1968. This was your traditional zombie movie, a group of young teens inside of a house seeing zombies outside for the first time. But it was also the first movie where a black man protagonist was in the movie, and he ended up getting shot by society instead of died from the zombies themselves, hitting at societal issues of the time and in general. This film used all practical effects. The zombies themselves ate ham covered in chocolate sauce, making it look like a realistic combination of body and blood on a black and white screen. This was also where all of the rules for zombies were first created. You have to shoot them in the brain for them to die. If you get bit, you are infected, etc. All of these rules that we know now today as pretty much the zombie survival guide were all created just off the bat through this movie. The follow-up to Night of the Living Dead happened 10 years later with Dawn of the Dead. This film was inspired by all of the consumerism in the late 1970s, early 1980s, specifically the movement with all of the Cabbage Patch dolls. People were absolutely crazy about getting their hands on a Cabbage Patch doll. So, Dawn of the Dead created a zombie movie at this time that took place in an American shopping mall, taking almost all the inspiration from the Black Friday shopping and showing the ties between humans shopping, acting like animals on Black Friday, and how the zombies themselves would act just the same in the same location. Pretty much the last thing to talk about within the actual zombie genre specifically is the world-renowned show, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is all about not the zombies themselves, but the fear of other people. The Walking Dead zombies are successful because we can see the person behind the zombie, begging the question, when do we really lose our humanity? Kids 8 to 10 years old watch The Walking Dead like it's a family show. But why? Because it's all about the people, a true Western. The very first zombie that we see in all of The Walking Dead is the bicycle girl, bicycle zombie. and our main character, Rick Grimes, kneels down and says, "I'm sorry this happened to you," to a creature that we've come to know as just that, a creature. This brings human emotions to the show and truly forces the audience to connect compassion with humanity, even for those who are barely human or who are sick to the point of unidentification. The show is completely about what would you do to preserve your humanity. At what point do you lose it? Is it when you become a zombie or even before that? Who exactly is The Walking Dead? Getting a little bit deeper into the genre itself, there is the specific title of the zombie genre, which is apocalyptic horror. This focuses more on the seriousness and realism. Apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic genre focuses on an Earth that is no more, whether the cause being climate destruction, a pandemic, zombies themselves, or God. These movies show how everyday people deal with a world on the brink of collapse, or how they live after the world has already done so. It focuses on the psychology of survivors and the way in which the human race is maintained or completely destructed. The fear of this genre is more real than others because, similarly to zombies themselves, it's something that truly could happen. It's the most realistic horror that we can grasp. Also, in the Catholic faith, people are taught that God will resurrect at an unexpected moment and create the end of the world. The same fear for demons, the opposite of angels feared in churches, is a similar fear to the apocalypse, except that Christians are supposed to welcome the end of the world because God will save those who are worth saving. Which begs the question, am I a good enough person to be saved? And am I strong enough to survive? A movie that really stands out with all of these points is a movie called Legion. This focuses on God's distaste for humanity. We've messed up enough that he wants to delete the game and start over. There are waves of terror that come through like a video game, having our characters defeat each level and moving on to the next boss. Archangel Michael doesn't believe that humanity is doomed, so he decides to join the fight and save the family to rebuild society after its imminent downfall. This is a true horror movie with a lot of scary imagery, but is also really well done at incorporating true angels and motivations from spirituality that we can see as the viewer considering relatively realistic. To talk about one of the most popular films in this genre and one of the most popular films of all time, A Quiet Place. This is one of the most immersive films. This movie is nearly silent for its entire runtime, making us, the audience members, feel as though we need to stay quiet too. It focuses on a post-apocalyptic world where the creatures that have infested the earth are sensitive to noise and attack anything that they can hear, causing everything to be silent. It's a very realistic, organic film that we feel like we can see ourselves ending up in. We don't see the monsters very much during the film, so our imaginations go to work. What must they be like? How terrorizing are they? All of that. The main family's daughter is deaf, giving her almost a superpower in this film by being able to feel frequencies and vibrations that others can't, showing the potential positive for having a disability in an apocalypse when it would typically seem like an immediate demise. What will save us at the end of the day will be our ability to adapt. One review for the movie even states, "A Quiet Place is a sign of viewers craving emptiness, of a yearning for some cinematic white noise to drown out troubling thoughts and observations with a potently simple and high-impact countermyth." Thanks for listening to today's Wicked Wednesday. Grab your makeshift weapons and cans of corn and get ready for those zombies. For those of you who want to continue talking about all things spooky, you can sign up for the Shivers Meetup page and be actively part of the conversation and discussion. Next Tuesday, December 6th, I will be hosting a presentation on creepy holiday traditions, horror genres and their meanings, and other spooky topics. So be sure to join for an interesting evening. Enjoy your day, everybody.